Hello everyone and welcome to Kdh Art Class. I'm Miss Howard and today we're going to be focusing on 1 point perspective, but we're going to show how you can have multiple points that things are going to. So it's still 1 point perspective because all of these things are going to this one point on your paper. We call it the vanishing point. Looks like the O and the L and the hearts are disappearing or coming from this one spot. And then we have 1 point over here that the V, the E, and the hearts are disappearing to on this side. So this is kind of a warm-up, getting your brain thinking about almost like this half of the page is going to go this way to this point, and this half is going to go to this point. And we will take this beginnings and evolve and grow them into a true 2 point perspective drawing. But this is, like I said, it's a good warm-up, it's fun, it's colorful, and we're going to be focusing on space, things coming and going, or things that are close and far away, as well as line. So we're going to be talking about how those cross contour lines, like we practiced with the wormies and all those little warm-up activities we did, as well as just kind of filling in the background or the negative space with lines, just to kind of make it more interesting and fun. All right, enough talk. What do we need? We need something to write with. I recommend a sharp pencil or mechanical pencil. You're going to need a straight edge. It could be a ruler. It could be a piece of cardboard, like my cereal boxes and stuff. Anything that's going to allow you to make a nice straight line. You're probably going to need an eraser because this takes practice. And I'm going to be using like markers or colored pencils to make it more exciting. So any of those things are fine. You can just use pencil on this project, but I leave that up to you. What do you have at your house, or what do you want to use? Okay, we're going to be zooming in a little bit here, and in my previous videos we talked about how to make block letters. So I'm not going to go into too much detail with that, but a quick little review is once you've drawn out, and again, this is for those that are first learning, the letters, and I'm going to use the word love just because it's just a good word, Sometimes just making this and giving it to somebody in an assisted living place or a grandparent or even your family, sometimes it just makes them feel good. All right, I'm going to change colors so you can see what's going on here. So to make it a block letter, I decide how thick I want my letters, and where it ends, I put like a line, and where it bends, I put dots. And that just helps me keep it close. You can use a ruler if you want at this point. I'm just going to freehand it, kind of setting up my dots along the way to help me keep it at a good consistency, and the same thing going around it. Let's just go nice and slow, so I try and keep it the same distance all the way around. I got a little narrow there. Where the line ends, I make my line. Okay, where it bends, I'm going to put my little dot. The V is a little bit different than the L because that was bending on both sides, where this, it just kind of, that's where it's sitting. So, all right. If I'm going too fast for you on the video, please feel free to pause it. If I'm not going fast enough, because you really know what's going on here. Perfect. You can fast forward or wait for me to catch up to you. Okay, so I'm putting my little block letters. And I like using block letters when you're learning the one-point perspective because it's easy to know where to use stuff or where to start and finish. All right, what does that mean? That means I need to decide where are my vanishing points going to be. Now you can have different vanishing points going in different spots. These, I'm going to have them come over to that spot right there. And these, just to change it up, you know what, maybe I'll just have them vanish over here. Okay. Again, we're starting to think that there are multiple spots that things can go to. And then we'll learn next time how to make one thing go to both dots. But let's just not get ahead of ourselves. All right. When you're doing the one-point perspective, even though you have multiple 1 points, you need to know where your corners or your angles are. And you need to mark them. I did not mark these because I already know that I am not allowed to go through my letter. I have to stop whenever I run into something. So what does that mean? One, I must always touch my vanishing point. Then I have to touch my starting point, which is this angle or corner. And I'm going to go ahead and boom, connect it. The one big rule is you cannot go through one of the letters. Okay, so I didn't mark this one because I would have to go through my letter L to get to the vanishing point. So I'm not allowed to do that one. Don't do it. This bottom one here, I must always touch my vanishing point, then I touch my starting spot, and boom, connect it. Okay, here's another angle. This one, I cannot. It would go through the L to get to the vanishing point. This one, no good. I would have to go through my L to get to the vanishing point. So I'm stuck with the last one. I must always touch my vanishing point. Come to my starting spot. Boom. Connect it. Okay. Now, circles or curves are very different. You're going to want to get to the top or the width. You need to get to the most wide part of it when it comes to the vanishing point. So I would not want to start here because, as you can see, there's still some of the letter above it. So I need to think of the highest part that I can get to. Now you would think it's right here, but I would be chopping off part of my letter to get to it. So it's actually a little bit to the side here. So I must always touch my vanishing point, and look, right there is where I need to put my starting point. That is the furthest point on that side. And sound effects, I love my sound effects. Now I have to stop when I touch another letter or any letter. All right, so I'm going to I can't do this because I would be going through my O to get there. So can't do that one. Can't do that one. I'd be going through my O. So now I need to come to the bottom of my O. What's the lowest point of it? The widest point right there. Must always touch my vanishing point. There's the lowest point. Boom. 2 lines. I'm good to go. Okay. Now, I said the V and the E, I'm going to make them come over here. So let's get used to going in a different direction, even though it's the same piece of paper. So I will be able to do this one, and I will be able to do that one, and I will be able to do that one. Now, if you have tilted your V and you can do more, great. I must always touch the vanishing point. Oh, looky there. I can get that one. I'm touching my vanishing point, and I can see that it's barely going above my letter. Did not go through it. I must always touch the vanishing point and do the next line. And that one has to stop because it bumped into the letter. My next one, it's cutting it close, but yeah, I could make that kind of go to the vanishing point. And the last one on top. So it really looks like one giant thick line, but it's actually 4 different lines there. All right, cannot go do that one. That would definitely go through the V. Cannot do that one. That one would go through the V. But it looks like I can do at least a little bit of this one till it stops. Runs into the E. Speaking of the E, I'm looking at some of my choices here. Okay. Must always touch the vanishing point. Touch the angle or the corner. Connect. The angle or the corner. Connect. Looks like I can get that one right there. I'll try and come on this side to show you. Right. Then we're coming over here. This little corner. Oops, stop right there. The next one. Stop right there. And just like this one, the bottom of that little section can at least go right there. And right there. And so this one's going to make it all the way to the top. And the very, 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 very bottom one, as you can see, can also go all the way up to the top. That. All right, so because you are my advanced artist at the elementary level, we need to focus on our cross contour lines. Okay. Our cross contour lines, those are the lines that are showing the shape the whole time. So the first one is you're going to see my ruler is straight up and down because that part of the L is straight up and down. That means all the way down, I'm going to do straight up and down. And I can use my ruler, probably should use my ruler, but I'm just trying to show you this is how all my lines should be, parallel all the way down. Now, it's going to change directions. Now, it went from a vertical line to a horizontal line. And all of these lines are going to be horizontal, just like that one. And these, of course, are my cross contours. I want you to practice these lines because it's going to help you down the line when you start doing details on your three-dimensional looking pieces. Okay. See, now it looks like the L is going everywhere, all the way down. All right, coming to the next one. I do not have a straight line. In fact, my line curves like a rainbow. Guess what you're going to have to do? Curve it like a rainbow. So it's going to curve like a rainbow. To give you even more detail to think about, or secrets to think about, as I'm getting closer to the dot, I should be making my parallel lines get closer together and more spread out when they're further away. I really did not do that with my other ones. So I guess I could start showing you getting a little bit closer, a little bit closer, ooh, a bit closer, closer, until they start running together and it just becomes a solid line. That also helps with that look. All right, but wait, there's more. Look inside of your O. You have a curved line this way. So the curved line is going to be going this way inside. So remember, you're looking on this side of the O, which is curved this way. If I did this side of the O, it wouldn't look correct. So you're letting it curve this way, while this side is on the outside, this is on the inside. Okay, moving on. We're now to the V. Since I really can't add any details in between those blue lines, I'm going to skip them. Here is a diagonal. Now I need to make these all diagonal. See that? You would be amazed how these little bitty details all add up. Okay, so now we're going to flip-flop it the other way, because this is the diagonal we need to follow all the way down. So it's going this way. I need to make sure that these are all going this way. And as I'm going along, I can bring them a little bit closer and a little bit closer until basically they're touching each other, or they have the illusion of touching each other, all the way down, making the V come out that way. All right, the E, the top is horizontal. So I need to make all of these horizontal. And again, getting closer and closer. Just because it's just good practice. That's a great way of just start thinking about perspective. All right, don't forget about this part of your E. That is vertical. See it right there? That part of the E right there. It's going vertical. So all of those lines are going to need to go in the same direction. Almost looks like a zigzag line there. All right, now I'm getting underneath, and this part goes back to being horizontal. So I'm going to make all of these horizontal with it. And I actually forgot about this part right here, that up and down part. That is also going to have its little lines in there. And we come to the front of that middle part of the E. It is also vertical. So all of these need to be vertical. Be careful, you'll be tempted to try and go diagonal on them. Don't do it. You got this little bitty section here. I can barely put one in there, but I'll put one in there. Get to the next section. We've gone back to horizontal. All of these lines are going to be parallel to it, which means they're going to all need to be horizontal. Basically, until they become a solid line. And my last vertical, right there. So it feels kind of weird. Oh, I forgot to make those get closer and closer. I'm trying to get ahead of myself here. All right, so I have this done. Now we can have some fun. Of course, I went ahead and colored in. Let's see, we'll do a baby blue around that purple. Why not? My block letters. I really like how the highlighters and pair up with my Sharpies or my permanent markers. I have a combination of Sharpies and Creatology, you know, whatever's on sale. It can be kind of expensive, so trying not to be the starving artist that spends all their money on art supplies so I can have fun doing this stuff. I just can't help it. Honestly, not only do I spend my money on my stuff, I spend my money on my students' stuff. It's like, oh, this is great. I want my kids to, at school, to have the same experience. And then I go out and buy it. It's usually just a classroom set, or the way I set my room up is I have 8 tables. And the kids at the tables learn to share. Because Miss Howard is a teacher, not a millionaire. All right. Now the last little thing is we need to work with that negative space, that background around our letters. In which I usually like using a little bitty Sharpies for this stuff. Oh, you know, it'd be fun. Orange. Orange is the complementary color of blue. And it has red mixed into it, so it works well with the green because red is the complementary of green. Orange is the complementary of blue. Yellow is complementary of purple, but I digress. All right, the last little thing, when we look at our example, you could add more shapes. You know what, let's do one heart because it is, you need to see how that one is. So let's go back here. And I'm going to add one heart shape. Let's see, did I mess that up? Let me stretch it down here a little bit. And once again, I'm going with, I'll make it go to this vanishing point, in which I come to the very top of it. See, that's where first touching it is right there. That's going to go till it hits the letter. Then I have this little line here in which I am going to make that go to the vanishing point. I'm going to come down to the bottom of my heart. And make it go. So here's the thing. You're going to have to follow the shapes. This one is curved like a rainbow. Right? Kind of like we did our O. So we have a little rainbow shape there. So we're going to need to make sure that we rainbow. Oop, wow, that was an ugly rainbow there. It's okay. Gives it personality. Perfection is boring. And then we have this other rainbowy shape. We could use the darker green on this. It'll probably read as dark green, so I'll do a light blue. And now this one is almost like a question mark. So it's going to go up, over, around, and down. Up, over, around, and down. Up, over, around, and down. So you're getting that cross contour, that shape of the heart. And let's just go ahead and add just a little bit of detail in there. Maybe a little dot there. We'll use the purple on it just to keep with the cool colors that I've been using in this area already. All right, so you can play around with those. I added several hearts around, a couple of them going this way to practice, and when I put them in different spots, you can see that you're just focusing on that side. This, you're catching both of the curves. This one, you're catching the V, the bottom V on it, and this one, you just have the one question mark side on this side, the backwards question mark on that side. But you get the idea on how to make it curve and look like it's the shape all the way down, not just straight lines or incorrect shaped lines. Okay. Oh, silly me. The last thing is I want you to make one continuous line that fills in your background in an interesting way. So you're going to start off, and I said I was going to start with the orange. And you can move it horizontal, vertical, diagonal, curved, any way you want. So I might S this back and forth. Yeah, you can see it for a little bit. Maybe I'll start changing it up and down. Maybe I'll do some diagonals, and I haven't stopped moving my pen. Maybe we can do some curves. Anything that's going to, oh, I picked it up because my arm's getting tired of hitting that position. And I don't want to cover what I'm doing so you can see what's going on. And just let it go. I mean, maybe you're going to do a long one. Maybe it's going to have kind of a little more space in it. Some of those castle bumps. okay if you go on top of your lines a little bit. And just keep going. Keep it really close to itself as you're going along, because that's going to give the illusion of it being completely colored, even though it is not. And just keep going and going and going until you have finished your background. Once again, this is one-point perspective. It's creating space primarily. What's distant and what is close or coming at you. Even though it is a flat piece of paper. Whoop, there's another 1 point. Sorry, my idea book. Okay, even though it's a flat piece of paper, you know, it's going to look like it is coming at you. And as you practice these cross contour curved lines, straight lines that match that direction of your line all the way down, that direction of your line all the way down, then it's truly going to be more realistic looking. Good luck, have fun, change the colors up if you want. This is your artwork, it should not look like mine. And start to understand how all of this ties together in art. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you're having fun learning about line and space in Kdh Art Class. Bye!